Hey guys, this is Kenny with Kenny Conclusion, and today we're going to take a look at the iPhone 6 Plus. Here we go. Hey guys, so this is it, the iPhone 6 Plus. Generally the only difference between the 6 and the 6 Plus is just the size and, obviously the bigger battery and the image stabilization built into the camera. We'll touch on that here in a little bit. I opted to go with the 128 gig version just due to the limited quantities. I was going to go with the 64, but since I could not find that one near my area, I just ended up paying an extra $100 so I could have it right now. I'm kind of impatient. Up here you have the same thing as normal, the mute unmute clicker, the volume buttons. On the bottom you have the headphone jack, the lightning cable, speakers, and SIM card slot, and they moved the power button on the side due to the fact not many people have thumbs that can reach the top like they used to. So just for ergonomic use, it's right here, right where your thumb normally is. So the top really has nothing on it now. I understand why they did it, but the only thing I really have trouble with is when I go to press the power button, I usually use my index finger to pull leverage, and I end up pressing both buttons at once. Not that that really does anything, but just a little bit of annoyance for me. You have passcodes, and you can also just use your Touch ID if you have that enabled. So one reason I decided to go with the 6 Plus is just due to the fact the size difference, 4.7 versus 5.5. I just prefer a bigger phone in my pocket, so I went with that. But for obvious reasons, it was the battery. I think it's something like 2 extra hours of talk time. That was the main factor for me. I mean, for $100 to get an extra 2 hours a day, obviously over time that will deteriorate the number, but for up front that was a pretty good factor for me. So this thing is lightning quick. I've been really impressed, especially by the camera. You have the burst mode. The video works just like it does in other phones. I mean, there's really nothing to show there. We also get the slow motion and a time lapse. The slow motion kind of looks weird when you're not recording because it tries to keep up with everything at a different rate. It'll give you like a 1 second and then it starts recording slow motion, so it's pretty cool. So this one also has the image stabilization, so if you have a slot movement, what's going on in the photo, you could take the photo, and as you can see it still comes out with a pretty clear photo even though the object was in motion. So I've got 4 kids, so obviously that was a big plus for me. They also added this double tap functionality. As you can see with my hand, I can reach the second level, but I cannot reach the top without actually moving my hand to move up there. So they added, if you double tap the home button, it shrinks everything, it pulls the whole screen down, and then you can click on it from there. Double tap it to make it go back. I can also say I've not used that once though. I will just obviously just hold the phone in one hand and use my finger, or even just shift the placement of my hand to where I can do that, but then I can't go back down to that level. But that's not really a big deal for me. It's the kind of things you sacrifice for a larger phone. I believe it's if you get the 64 or 128 gig version, you also are preloaded with some Apple apps. You get the Keynote, GarageBand, iMovie, Numbers, Pages, basically the Microsoft Office suite of Apple. Okay, just to give you an idea what's all in the box, here's the box that came in. As you can see, iPhone, nothing there. So you'll open the box very gently, unlike the guy in Australia that dropped his phone in front of all the cameras, the very first one to be sold. You have the phone, of course. Same guy I just showed you. Here you have your awesome set of instructions, and it also includes those awesome Apple stickers that they include in everything they sell. You also have a diagram of all the buttons on the phone, just like I just outlined earlier. So we'll close him back up. And inside here you have, of course, the headphones with the volume rocker and a microphone built in. You have your wall adapter, so you can plug in your lightning cable that it comes with. And that is it. I actually still have an iPhone 5, so I will show you the screen difference between the two. And there, as you can see, that's your hello screen. I've wiped it off, so I'm getting ready to sell it, so it's already pretty much in a dummy state. But you can still get the picture. Placing the phone on the corner. You can see how much of a difference between the 5 and the 6 Plus has grown. One last thing I will mention about the way Apple did this. You could buy this in 16, and it would double from there, 16 to 32 and 64 gigs in $100 increments. They updated that to be 16, then jump all the way to 64, and then jump all the way to 128. I've always had trouble freeing up space. I used to have just a 16, and before that was just an 8, so you know, 8 to 16 was a big deal, and even 16 it fills up in no time when you take as many photos as I do and videos. I will touch on the battery life real quick. I work from home, and I'm usually on conference calls at least 6 hours a day. I used to have my old phone plugged in all day long, but this one I can actually just leave. I can, you know, just plug in my headphones, Bluetooth, and run this phone all day, and it will still have at least 40% of charge by the time I leave at 5 o'clock. And then I've still got the entire day. I usually go to bed with it hitting 10 to 20%. That's exactly where I want my phone to be. That way I can do a full cycle charge as close to zero as I can. So I really have no complaints whatsoever. Overall, it's a great phone. It is true what a lot of people are saying. This phone feels a lot better in the case, which is kind of weird. When I first bought it, I almost dropped it about 2 minutes into having it. It's just such a big phone, and yet it's so light. So, you know, kudos to Apple for getting that done. But it's just, I don't know if it's just the rounded edges, the rounded glass, what it is. It's really hard to keep a firm grip on it without it just kind of sliding off your hand. You can see right there the camera lens is a little raised due to the thinness. But that is my review of the iPhone 6 Plus. Again, nothing really at all negative to say about it up to now. So, but that is my review of the iPhone 6 Plus. Really nothing negative to say about it. You know, I hope I covered everything. Leave a comment and I'll be happy to see if I can help you out in any way. Thanks, guys.